I bought the 4-stage BRS Bulk Reef Supply RO system. I tested the water, as you saw, and the 4-stage was fine. And I got the water saver package that has the extra tube on top. What I'm going to do is find a place up here to put it and mark the holes on the wall. Put some spacers on here, and I'm going to see if I can hit a stud. I think there's a stud here, and try to relocate the power here. But then you can see, even with this, it's a little close to that. We'll be taking the canisters off, might be dripping water, so I'm probably going to relocate the power over here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these up, drill the holes, and get this hung. Measure the holes here. This is at a stud. This won't be. So I have a drywall anchor that I'll use for that. Go ahead and get that started. And what we're going to do is, the reason we want to get a stud, that unit's pretty heavy and it's also going to be filled with water. So that'll help us to support that weight. Put the drywall anchor in here. Screw these in. You can leave them a little bit out from the drywall so that the unit can hang off of it. Okay. Yes, we lined it up right. It should hang right on there. Just like that. The 3 lines on the RODI system, the blue is the RODI water, will go into the white tank, into the float valve we connected earlier. And the black is the drain, the red is the water supply. There's 10 feet of cable. I'm a little bit further than 10 feet from the sink, so I'm going to put in a ball valve at both ends, and so I can extend it out a little bit. Also have better control of cutting the water off at the supply as well as at the unit itself. That's more handy to get to, more convenient to have it on and off right here at this location. I got the new 1/4-inch tubing from Bulk Reef Supply. Ordered an extra 10 feet to get it over to the RODI system. So we're going to go ahead and connect up a easy stop angle kit, or an easy angle stop adapter kit to the water supply, and a drain adapter kit to the drain here. And I'm also going to drill a hole in the corner back here of the cabinet. And these are garage cabinets, so it'll go underneath over to the water unit. For the water supply, I'm going to turn off the water here and disconnect the flex hose and put the easy angle stop adapter in. It'll screw on to the valve, hook the hose to the top, and then our water supply connector will come in through the end here. Easy stop adapter is right here. You can see it fits right between the old flex hose and the valve. This is a valve that comes with it, so that just sticks in there. This is the on and off for the water supply, so you can turn that off. Right now it's in the off position. You can turn it on when it's on the on. So I'll be connecting a red line to that, which both the drain line and the red line go through the hole that I drilled and over to the RODI unit. Okay, these are Murloc connectors, and really all I should have to do is push that in, and that should be it. And that's our connection. for the supply. Next thing we're going to do is install the drain saddle. It's going to need to go between the sink and the P-trap. You want it a little bit higher than the horizontal leg of the P-trap. So I'm going to put it right about here. I'm going to actually aim it to the back so that it kind of comes out toward the back, so I can still use under the sink here and none of the lines are in the way. So of course there's a little gasket that comes with the unit, so go ahead and peel the sticky off of there, and on the side with a hole, that's going to go on there and it's going to stick on there, and that's going to be your gasket for when you install it. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm going to get right between here. I don't want to get too close here, so I'm, like I said, I'm aiming it toward the back. Use a 1/4 inch drill bit. Okay, I'm going to stick a Allen stock through here. I was going to use a screwdriver, but it's a little big. Put it through the hole. This is the piece with the gasket installed. Stick that in there, and go ahead and attach the back side and then cinch these up. Okay, there's a nut and bolt for each side. Okay, so I tightened up this on both sides so it's snug. Take the Allen stack out. Got your drain line. And just slide it into the Murloc connector. And it locks in. I ran the supply and drain lines under these cabinets and coming up about here. So just that's 10 feet, so it's still a little short. So I was planning on putting some valves on here to control it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This location, you slide the Murloc things in there until they snap in. And then the other end will slide in. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I'm not going to show it right now, but cut it to size because it's a little long. I'm going to do that to both sides. Okay. And then you connect those there, and that'll be my on-off valves. The drain will pretty much stay open, but it's a good union for it to give it an extension. I got these 1/4 inch clips, kind of a S shape, and they'll go on here just to hold that so it's neat against the wall. And then I'll trim these, the excess on these, and plug them into those control valves. Here's what the clips look like installed. This kind of helps organize things. Okay, just finish this up. The drain line, the supply. Make sure they're, at least the supply's off right now. The drain can be on. We can also add a clip here to help just keep it a little bit more organized and keep the valves off the bench. Now we want to connect the outlet from the RODI to the float valve that we installed earlier. This is a little bit different as it doesn't just slip in and lock in. There is a spacer here in the end, a ferrule, and then a cap. And what this does is when you push it in to the nozzle on the float valve, it actually pushes the spacer into it. The ferrule kind of locks it in there and the cap keeps it tight. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Actually off camera, I need both hands. I just wanted to show you that. It was a little bit different, but it's really just a little bit different procedure and does the same thing. Everything's installed. All the piping's connected, the tubes are connected, and we're going to prime the RODI system. And how we do that, we just turn the water on, let it run for about an hour. See it going in the first chamber, and we let it run for an hour. Second chamber, make sure it comes out how it's supposed to in here, and then we'll empty out all that water that comes out. That's basically we just throw that away, and it's going to the last chamber. And that'll give us a nice clean set of water to start with. So again, we'll discard the water that's going in there. And again, only run it for about an hour. It cleans out all the membranes and all the filters, gets any of the residue out of there. Then that way when you start, you can start with fresh water. Okay, here's the first water out of here. And it's a good time to check for leaks and make sure everything's secure. Also make sure your valves are turned off on the bottom of your tank, so because you want to fill that up. I have the water in there. I was testing the pump, and all it does is hum. So I'm going to open it up. One of the reasons we have a valve here, or a yin-yang, and take it apart. Guess what? There's a plug in here. No wonder it wasn't working. I'm sure there's one in here too, so I'll go ahead and take that out as well. I'll go ahead and put it back together, and hopefully our pump will work. Feel a little dumb, but live and learn, right? Sure enough, there is another plug in there. Took it off. Actually, I haven't screwed down the pump, so actually I had to slide it out to get the piping off of here. So let's see if this works. Again, I got a little power switch on the outlet here. There's those plugs. Let's see if we can get water. Still not working. Let me see what's going on. It still wasn't working, so I pulled it off. I removed these 4 screws from this cap, plugged it in, still not working. So I manually spun the propeller and it started up. And seems to be okay. Let me see if it's going to work now that I got it connected back up again. It's pretty quiet. I am a little concerned that it wasn't starting, so we'll see with the longevity of this if it works long term. Just a quick recap. We have the supply water from the sink over here coming underneath, going up to the RODI system here. It processes through the canisters into the water tanks up here and into this is the DI canister here, down into the float valve here to the water, clean water tank supply. From there, we can either take the water directly out into the buckets, or I can divert it through the pump and up into the salt water tank. I can mix the salt water in there, closing off this valve and opening this one, and then running the pump will circulate the salt water. When that's ready to go, we can empty that from here on this side. Okay. The other thing, there will be a water heater in here. I think the circulation will be enough for that. Some people put power heads in there. I'm just going to do this with the pump. But there will be there it is. I'll be putting a water heater in there as well. You want the water temperature to be the same as in the tank. for now, I think the saltwater mixing station is done. So I'm going to end this episode with that. And the next one will be on setting up the quarantine tank. I'm trying to do this in the sequence that I actually need the stuff, so the equipment. So I need the water so I can set the quarantine tank. I need the quarantine tank so I can get the fish and the coral into the main tank. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was helpful. Again, this is all the lessons learned as I go through this process, and I hope others can learn from it. Thanks a lot.